Alright, let's dive into something that's been dominating headlines across Europe lately: the extreme heatwaves that are shattering temperature records and pushing countries to their limits. But here's the thing, this isn't just about numbers on a thermometer. It's about the cascading effects on infrastructure, health, and the environment. So, let's break it down. First off, what's striking is how widespread this is. Countries like Slovakia, Austria, and Hungary are hitting temperatures they've never seen before. Personally, I think what makes this really interesting is how it's not just about discomfort, it's about systems breaking down. Take Poland, for example. They had to shut down coal-fired power plants because the rivers were too low to provide cooling water. That's a double irony, right? The very plants contributing to climate change are now being crippled by its effects. From my perspective, this is a wake-up call that's hard to ignore. And it's not just Poland. In Germany, climate activists are protesting outside the Chancellery, demanding action. What many people don't realize is that this isn't just about the environment, it's about human lives. Estimates suggest nearly 12,000 people have died from heat-related causes in Germany alone this summer. That's staggering. If you take a step back and think about it, this raises a deeper question: how many more summers like this can we afford? Now, let's talk about Hungary. Their prime minister announced that a nuclear power plant is back online after being temporarily shut down. But here's the kicker: even with that, they are still urging voluntary reductions in electricity use. What this really suggests is that even countries with diverse energy sources are feeling the strain. One thing that immediately stands out is how fragile our systems are when pushed to the brink. But here's where it gets even more alarming: the wildfires. 500,000 hectares have burned across the EU since the start of the year, and Ukraine has seen nearly 300,000 hectares go up in flames. What makes this really interesting is how the conditions for these fires, hot, dry, and windy weather, are setting new records. In Austria, for instance, fire weather conditions are twice as severe as the previous record. This isn't just a bad year, it's a sign of a shifting baseline. A detail I find fascinating is the role of water, or the lack of it. Power plants need water to cool down, agriculture needs it to grow crops, and ecosystems need it to survive. When rivers like the Danube are at record lows, it's not just an environmental issue, it's an economic and social one. From my perspective, this highlights how interconnected our challenges are. So, what's the bigger picture here? Experts are calling this a supercharged effect of the climate crisis. Paweł Pomian from a Polish environmental organization put it perfectly: power plants driving climate change are becoming its victims. In my opinion, this is the ultimate feedback loop, and it's one we need to break. The faster we transition to renewable energy, the better. Wind and solar power require far less water, which could ease the strain on both energy systems and ecosystems. But here's the thing: this isn't just Europe's problem. It's a global one. What's happening in Europe is a preview of what other regions could face if we don't act. Personally, I think this should be a turning point, not just for policymakers, but for all of us. Because if we've learned anything from this summer, it's that the consequences of inaction are no longer theoretical. They are here, and they are devastating. So, as we wrap up, I'll leave you with this thought: what if this is just the beginning? What if next year, or the year after, is even worse? In my opinion, the time for half measures is over. We need bold action, and we need it now. Because if there's one thing this summer has shown us, it's that the planet doesn't wait for us to catch up. What do you think? Are we doing enough, or is this the wake-up call we've been ignoring?